So, welcome back. Our final keynote speaker of the day is Erik Wikander of Svensk Fastighetsförmedling. Welcome, Erik. Hi.
Hi, Emma.
How are you today?
Very good, thank you. And you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Yeah?
Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, I've been in the business for quite a long time in various companies. Today I work, and I think I have the longest title in the business or in the whole industry. I'm country manager for Svensk Fastighetsförmedling in Sweden and Spain, a deputy managing director for the company.
Okay, yeah, that was a long time.
Yeah.
What are you here to talk about today?
I'm going to talk about how to get more leads and how to treat the leads to be potential new customers.
Okay, and you've had some successful experience in this area, I assume.
Well, to gain new business is the most important thing when you work with real estate agents. And for me, based in Sweden and mostly of the time working on the Swedish market, it's a bit different than other countries, the business model in Sweden. But still, we have seen that to be able to get more business, we need to attract much more customers and to be able to get them from various situations, from digital contacts or from physical meetings and so on, and to be able to treat them to be a potential customer. And that's quite an interesting customer journey to follow.
Well, we're excited to hear what you have to say. The stage is yours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's so cool to be part of this conference and to talk about the most important thing that the real estate agents have to gain new business and how do they get more leads out there and how do they work with the leads to get the leads into new business. This is very important and it's also one of the most tricky things to work with, actually. If we look at it in the way of a real estate agent, and I think this is more or less the same in most countries. This is a role that is very busy. You're on the run all the time. Either you are in a meeting with clients, you're at an open house, you're at a photo shooting, or in a negotiation for the bidding process, and back to new client meetings. You barely have no spare time. And spare time is the time, in my meaning, where you should be working with new leads to be able to get your next deal, next business, and to be able to go out on more meetings with clients in the future. It's very easy to predict the upcoming 2-3 weeks, but how do you fill in with more leads in the sales funnel when it comes up to 1 month, 2 months ahead? And if you have to do and think about that, you have to have a process of working and a bit of looking into new ways of working and not the traditional way. We know that it's very hard to be the real estate agent and it's a tough job with a lot of working hours. And we try to find out ways to help our agents. Traditionally, real estate agents, at least in the Swedish market, has worked a lot with direct mailing to be able to present you as a person, to present the listings or what has been sold previously. You have also worked on the Swedish market with traditional paper ads. And the target groups for this is mainly the seller, because on the Swedish market, the seller is the client. The seller is the one who pays your salary. So therefore, to get a new client, a new business is to get a new seller out there. This is the way of showing that you're active on the market, that you have a lot in your pipe out there to sell. That will give the customers confidence and trust in you for the future. But actually, if we look at it a bit deeper, we see that the most important thing, if we look at it and we measure it, why a client choose you as a real estate agent is recommendation. Recommendation from another customer that were very satisfied. And that might be a friend. The normal topic when you meet friends in the Swedish market over a dinner or so is talk about your house or your apartment or your sales process or buying process. That's one of the major topics when you meet people. And therefore, a recommendation in that sense is very good to have. But also to work with recommendation in a more structured way, processed way by various review sites or to work with Google review and integrate that in your web page. That also gives the impression that you have a lot of customers out there that are willing to recommend you. If we do that and combine that into our own process internally, we can work with the advertising and the recommendation process as part of gaining new leads. But if we go into the modern world or the digitalized world, we have a lot of touch points with the customers. And we have digital touch points, we have the physical meetings in various ways, we have the open house or other kind of viewings of the estate. We also can dig into all the small touch points, like every SMS or text message, web mail sent. Each and every one is a touch point where we can gain new customers. And also, naturally, social media is very essential to be able to present what you have out there and to have it as a channel to deliver new potential customers for you. So in the digitalized world, this is very important. And the one thing that you don't see on the lines behind is that you have to have it all integrated with your CRM system. So this is automatically driven for the real estate agent, because time is a lack resource for the agent. So therefore, we have to automate as much as possible in the process. For the visitor coming to the company's webpage, like this webpage in our case, we also have to have different kind of forms that it's easy for the customer to fill in so they can book a valuation, a personal valuation, which give you the exact valuation of the estate, but also kind of automatical algorithm that can give you just in-between value. But we always recommend that don't trust that value. You have to have the personalized meeting to see what the real value of your estate is. But to work with the web and to work with the web integrated with the CRM system gives you a lot of new clients. In my company, we actually gives our real estate agents some 20, 30, 35,000 new meetings with clients just through our webpage and our digital presence. So it's a very, very huge source of new business that we have in front of us. If we then add the social media ads on top of this, then it's another channel where we have to go both present the listings, but also kind of in an emotional channel. And if we work with it just and compare, we did a study in my company at Svensk Fastighetsförmedling, where we looked at all sales for the last 10 running months, approximately 25,000 sales, and looked at the one that had no social media ads promoting the listing, the one that had the basic package, and the one that had the premium package in level. And we can see the difference in all three levels, none, basic, and premium. But just to go from none to presence in social media advertising gives you more visitors for the open house, gives you more willing people to go into the bid process, and definitely gives you a much higher end price. So this is also a very important part, because if you go in the social media, if you just look at the traditional way for the customer who goes into the portals to go to your company's web page and so, then you're quite active in your search of your new home. But if you go on the social media, we can find the ones that might be interested if the right listing comes out. So you can reach them in another way. And that's quite interesting to be able to gain more business for the future. But then also, even if we go to social medias, then we have to have the right landing pages, the right questions, the right emotional feeling, so we can put it directly in the CRM system and automate it for the agent. Also, we have done a big survey among the customers who have come in contact with us in a digital way, digital leads, and then we see that time is very crucial if it's going to be a business or not out from the lead. If we were able to answer the incoming lead within 5 minutes, we had a 95% chance of getting a new business, a new sale out of it. If we waited 2 hours with the answer, then the percentage, the chance of getting it as a business went down to 50%. And if we waited 24 hours, then it was down to 5%. And naturally, it sounds quite natural when you hear it, but in the daily work, is it really possible to act on this as a real estate agent? I would say to be able to secure that, we have to think totally different. Let the real estate agent work with the things that create value, meaning the presentation of the listing, the negotiation with the clients and doing all that kind of stuff in the process. But to be able to catch up these very quick calls from digital leads, we have to connect it with kind of a customer center function, call center function that works and can be the prolonged real estate agent service. So if we let the customer center directly contact, all the digital leads go to the contact center and they mark it as a booking in the real estate agent's Outlook, then it will also this way be automized process. And beside the automized process for the agent, the customer will be much more happy with the speed and that we really see what they are looking for. So that will higher the quality and will give a much happier client at the end. So to qualify the leads is as essential as just getting the leads in there. If we qualify them by the call center, then the real estate agent knows which they have to act on directly, which they can act on the other day or another week, or which they can have in the box and take a contact with maybe in 2-3 months time from now. And then they, in working with that, and in that way, they can gain new business for the future. So that's a quite new way of thinking, as I see it, because a lot of the real estate agents think that me as a person is the one that has to have every part of the contact chain with the client. It's not. It's how you communicate that is the important thing, not who does it. So therefore, this is part of qualifying the leads. If we look a little bit further, actually, look, what's the future? Then we see a lot of things happening right now. And naturally, this is something that we also have to act on to be able to gain new leads for the future. We see the voice revolution, and if we compare that, you have the Amazon Alexa, you have the Siri, the Google Home functions, every kind of smart speaker that is part of your home. But if you, as a customer, don't find the real estate agents there, then you're not part of that part of the search. And I think that a lot of the companies out in the market don't work with that today because it's so new, but it's essential to be there for the future. And we also see that with the 5G rollout among the cities and countries, then we're very much into the data-driven cities where we can connect a lot of functions. And as every device will get smarter and smarter with more capacity each and every day, this is something that we have to use and can use to be able to also get new customers for the future. If we compare and add the artificial intelligence and the knowledge about how people act out there, we also add the virtual reality and augmented reality that will give a full new expression of the listing for the clients. And you will, not very far away from now, be able to walk out in the streets and see a lot of information about potential listings that might be out on the market just by walking around the streets. And that is what new technology creates. And the interesting thing, if we look at the last 1.5 years with Corona, it has created a new customer behavior. And a survey we did with the end consumer were about the acceptance for full e-commerce of shopping the houses or apartments. And 25% of the audience said that, yes, we would very much love to buy it fully by an e-commerce process. And that is also a way of thinking how to gain new business. So if that is part of the future, then we have to be in the future and look at these kind of questions to be successful. New technology really creates new customer behavior. It's not driven by our industry, but we're part of it, and we're part of what the clients does out there. So by that, I would say the winner for the future and the one who can get more leads, can create leads into more business, is the one who is best on the market, looking around the corner and are innovative, looking for new things, new technology, and new behaviors that will be essential in the next upcoming years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Erik. How do you feel?
Well, it feels good. I mean, it's exciting to be on this kind of event, but it's always doing this is pulse. It's intensive.
As in sales?
As in sales.
You talk a lot about the importance of, staying digital and especially social media presence. But what would you say are like the keys to succeed with this? Because it's not only, you can't just do it and then succeed because of the channels in themselves.
No, first, I think you have to base it in your own strategy. It's not something that's just happening outside. It must be a core process in your strategy. And I think you also have to ground it back to your brand strategy and your core values in the company to see what differs us from our competitors. When you're honest all the way, then you will be honest in the presence in the customer life also.
Is this an expensive strategy to have?
Wouldn't say so. It's expensive when you not do it because we have to be where the clients or potential clients are. And if we can be a huger part of their life, there will be a huger part of our business.
What if 5 years from now, what do you think will happen in terms of the digital development in this field?
Well, it's quite an interesting phase we are right now when we see Facebook announced just a few days ago that they will go into the metaverse reality. And how will that affect us? I mean, we don't know yet.
No.
But I think that when it comes to personal devices and the capacity there, and the way of looking at estates in augmented reality or virtual reality, extended versions, that will be a much. It will give you an impression of being and seeing, believing everything about the estate in another way than today. So the appearance there is quite essential, and also the way of finding customers. I think I predicted 15 years ago that all kind of print advertising will be gone, but still there are target groups, but not to be able to present the listing, but for presenting the brands. It's good.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Thank you again. Very insightful. Thank you, Erik.